what's up? Red Panda Anthem. Red Panda, what's good?
All right. So what are the let's talk about this. Let's go to Coinbase. Coinbase stock jumps after announcing Bitcoin partnership with BlackRock.
Interesting.
Always. No, true. You can take it.
Nah, I'll start. I mean, it's kind of, it reminds me of when we talk about Jamie Dimon when he had thoughts about the cryptocurrency space and how it was ridiculous and, you know, all the negative connotations that come with it. Because Larry Fink, the chairman of BlackRock, called Bitcoin an index of money laundering just 5 years ago. And so to see that they are now announcing a partnership with BlackRock, I mean,
partnership or takeover?
Perhaps both, right? So, I mean, what does it mean for the average person or the institutional client? What it really is it's going to provide them access to cryptocurrency. It's combining the world's largest asset manager into the cryptocurrency market. I think they're only starting with Bitcoin. I mean, but it's huge news. You're talking about a firm that has 10 trillion. They manage $10 trillion in assets, stocks, bonds, and other commodities. And now you add Bitcoin to it. And it helped, obviously. I mean, Coinbase's stock went up 15%. It was trading at 92, which is something, again, like when we talk about being patient. And shout out to everybody that I had a conversation with this weekend about being patient and going through ups and downs in a company that you believed in. Yeah. About 4 weeks ago, Coinbase was trading at $43. $43. Friday, it was at 92. And so if Coinbase and cryptocurrency is something that you believed in and you found the research and you really believed in the space, obviously Coinbase being the number one platform that it's traded on, you know, that would have been a pretty solid investment at 42. But it's, again, knowing where your entries are and knowing where you want to exit. So, yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't shock me at all. I feel like every other month there's a new institutional investment firm that's saying, okay, I know what we said before, but let's do something different.
I mean, if you speak negatively on a brand to devalue it and then buy it, it's genius. Remember when I said, hey, if Bitcoin stays around 23,000 or hits below, Michael Saylor may be in trouble. Then Michael Saylor had to leave. And I know I'm not the foremost expert on crypto, but for 2 years, I've been screaming banks are going to try and take over crypto. Yes or no? Please put it in chat. So the truth is, Coinbase had a good chance of going under. BlackRock took the chance to seize the company. I think they're going to phrase it as a partnership, but I really think it's a takeover. The bounce in the stock is representative of institutional buyers knowing what the plan that BlackRock has for it, and now it's going to be a stable asset. I will say this for those of you that are invested in crypto. If you are on Coinbase, get your money off of there. I'll say it again. Get your money off of there. Shout out to the good team over at BlackRock. I've told you guys, there is not a market on earth that is worth trillions of dollars that the top hedge funds would not come attack. And I've been saying for years, if Vanguard and BlackRock are invested heavily into it, it gives it a higher chance of going up. This is a prime example. This is no different than like when all the Philly rappers got hot and then Jay was like, let me go to Philly and go get beans. Then Freeway came, then Chris and Neef. They just saw a market that was hot and seized it. Now they have control and interest over it when most people thought that they wouldn't. I think it's a great strategic move before investors here. Get your coins off Coinbase.
So, I mean, it's still relative when they say that the stock went up because it's at $98. But I mean,
it's still a bloodbath.
Yeah, 52-week high was $368. So it's still substantially lower than what it was. So just in Coinbase in general, what is the future for Coinbase, you think, as far as if it doesn't get acquired by BlackRock and it stays, you know, Coinbase and it stays listed on the stock market? How do we feel about Coinbase's stock long term?
All brokerages are bad to invest in. I've said it like
why is that?
But because you have no competitive edge. Like if you look over time, does the fees in a brokerage go up over time or do they go down? So if you have no fee trading, no fee transactions, you have to sell the data to somebody. But in the 1990s or late 2000s, some of us remember paying $9 or $10 for a transaction for one side of a trade. If that price goes down and the cost goes down, what upside do you have in the business? Now, if there's a broker that really takes care of the customer base incredibly well, creates incredible value, or even in a crypto space, if a crypto brokerage partners with the hedge fund and say, hey, we're going to partner for scale, but this is how we're going to keep you protected, there's a chance that they can do really well, but it wasn't transparent. Everyone in the crypto space was saying, we'll never partner with any bank or any hedge fund, and then sold out to all the hedge funds when things went down. And the thing that I hate is that when I was saying it earlier, people was like, well, I don't agree with it, but I'm having meetings with people in the space that are higher ups, and I'm just trying to warn us. But any asset that is incredibly valued, at some point, you're going to have a higher up come and acquire it. And if the entire market falls apart, and I was telling some of you at InvestFest, as soon as we got into the market really heavy and became passionate about it and began talking about it, and we're talking about it on this show and created a lane for people to talk about this openly, all of a sudden, every market we were interested in fell apart. You think that's by accident? And I'm not being a conspiracy theorist, but the timing is very interesting. When Wall Street bets fell apart, when GameStop fell apart, when Doge fell apart, everything that we were interested in fell apart. So please be mindful and just use the advice here that I'm giving you to make you thousands and millions of dollars for free. But no brokerage is long-term is very good to invest in unless you get it on a private equity side. When you have a lot of capital, or if you get it on the VC side very early.
So to play God's advocate in this situation, Binance has been one of the best performing cryptocurrencies for years. And I believe it's the 5th largest market cap for crypto. And it's the largest crypto exchange.
Yes.
So when you say no brokerage is good to invest in, how do you feel about Binance? And is Binance an exception to the rule, or do you think that eventually Binance won't be a good investment either?
I think Binance is an exception to the rule right now based on who they're funded by. Everyone put in chat, who are the partnerships and who gave the initial funding to Binance. I said last year, you have to look at the pipeline from angel to VC, and then who in that ecosystem is having impact. I think Binance has done an incredible job, but you do have to go look at that supply chain of who has put money there. That's a huge reason why. But also, they've done a pretty solid job with the customer base, but they are an exception to the rule. Like, there may be one EV player that keeps up with Tesla. Tesla's still the preeminent leader in that space. Usually over time, if you look at every broker since 1960, every time they've become public within a 10-year span, the value of that company has been cut in half.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, right? Like, I like what you said about the hidden fee, right? When you take away these hidden fees, somebody's going to pay, and that's usually going to be the customer. And they don't realize they're going to take advantage of the person who is a novice at this, right? Like the beginners who come in and say that there's no fee for trading, and there's no, at the end of the day, they're going to find a way to make money. Yeah, they sell the data, but there's going to be something inside of that, the trading instrument that they have, that's going to find a way for the brokerage to make money. And so long term, that's interesting. I have to look into that. I want to see what Binance's route to making money if they start offering such incentives.
I mean, on the investment side, from the venture side and angel side, or if you're a founder of a brokerage, one of the most profitable businesses ever. Just historically on the public side, it does not fare well. But even Coinbase, for those who got in at $20 and $30, like shout out to George and people I know who like were in Coinbase early. Great business to be in if you get it on the angel or private equity side, or the VC side. But just when you look at the history of most stocks that are brokerage based, they usually fall apart because customers are always going to want a lower fee base.
Yeah, it's kind of like the conversation we had with Vlad Tena when we were talking about Robinhood.
Yeah,
as far as the fees that the customers don't realize that they're going to be paying for some of the trading instruments. So interesting.
Yeah.
We will monitor the situation and see.
As always.
This that Red Panda Anthem. Ian, what's up? This that Red Panda Anthem. Red Panda, what's good? Red Panda Anthem. Whole clip going up. I know they can't stand it.